Good morning, ladies. So wonderful to have the opportunity to talk to you today about this fabulous movie. And Tracy, I've got to start by congratulating you on all of the accolades for Beans. I mean, Best Picture
I
at
know,
the
right?
Canadian Screen Awards. Are you still like, come on, are you awake? Are you still believing?
I am still processing. Honestly, I'm still processing. Yes, it's just been an incredible 6 months. And to get Best Picture for the year in Canada,
Yeah.
it's more than I had hoped for. So I'm so thrilled.
Yes, and we spoke back actually at TIFF when this movie was presented for the first time, and it blew me away. I mean, it was just phenomenal. Kiawentiio, your performance in this movie, I would think that you had been acting since you were like out of the womb. Seriously, when you got this and were presented the role and were chosen for it, were you what kind of challenge was it for you? Were you nervous, or how did you kind of dive right into this?
Um, yeah, I think I was nervous a lot. I like I didn't really have a lot of experience before that, just kind of with Anthony, and that was like a big kind of thing for me.
Yeah.
And it was a little nerve-wracking because we knew going in that, this was a huge part and I would be working like so much at every single scene. But Tracy just made me feel so comfortable where I wasn't scared
Yeah,
to.
you didn't look scared. You looked like you were very comfortable. And Tracy,
Except when she had to look scared.
oh well,
Then she really did. Yes.
but she's a great actor. But
Yes.
Tracy, for you, I mean, look, this is a very personal story. Cathartic, I'm sure probably is one of the words for you to put this down on paper and to present it to the world like this. But what did you see in this young lady that you said, yes, because she's representing you, when you were that age. So what was the clincher there?
Yeah, so I originally met Kiawentiio during Anthony because I was on that third season. And so during that casting process, we were looking for the character for Anthony, but she was on the short list and she was there as a part of this workshop that they were having. And even then, of course, I had my own film in the back of my mind. And throughout that, as we were looking for the other role, I was like, oh, I think that's Beans. I think I've met her. So in terms of the character, it's really great, right? When the person can bring a bunch of who they actually are to the role.
Yes.
And Kiawentiio is an artist through and through. And I think that has been apparent straight from the womb. Everything about her is artistic and open, and the sensitivity is there, the bravery is there. And all of these things are necessary to take on a role like this, but all of these were key elements to the character as well. So I just, and when you're casting, it's a feeling that you're looking for. And I had the feels every single time I saw her audition, perform. So I'm so thrilled that she and her family were willing to take on this big project.
Yeah. And Kiawentiio, I wanted to say, I mean, watching you in this, as I said earlier, I mean, you're just so good, but you're not only playing a young girl, it's a coming of age story. So you're going through your own things as a young girl, anyway, we all go through growing up, but you're dealing with this crisis. You're dealing with, what your family has to go through. Tell me a little bit about, did you, aside from having Tracy's script and having Tracy there all the time, obviously, did you do any research on the Oka crisis? Did you kind of dive in and try to get a sense of what these people went through?
Prior to moving to Kahnawake, I think we did watch a few documentaries, and I got the view. I know it's very different, but from my parents' view, because we were stuck here, with Kahnawake kind of like an hour away or far away. I got kind of more my parents' view on it.
Mm-hmm.
And they still went through things. My dad wanted to go and help, but his mom, him being a 15-year-old, doesn't want him anywhere near there. So
yeah,
I kind of just I think that's what I did.
Yeah, and yeah, oh, you mentioned your parents. Like, how helpful were they when you know, maybe after a long day of a shoot, were they helpful to you in the story? It's a tough story, you know?
hmm yeah, my parents have always been so supportive, and it's crazy when I think about it because they're just always there for me. And after a long day, they just understand that I want to sleep. Like I'm falling asleep in the car ride home. I'm just, um, I just remember after a long day of working, I would like zonk out.
I'm sure. Yeah, I don't doubt that for sure. Tracy, there's so many powerful moments and memorable moments in this movie. Tell me a little bit about what it was like for you to go back and relive this stuff.
It was really, really hard. It was hard to write it, but then having to recreate it was an entirely new level of hard. Not only was it going back into, so my most traumatic memories,
Yeah.
but needing to sort of put that aside in the moment and put on my director's hat and
Right.
do everything I could to make the day go well, ensure everyone's safety. Kiawentiio can speak to this herself, but I did try very hard for every day to be fun. These are children, that children shouldn't actually be working. So it's only okay with me if they're having fun while doing something like this. So that's what got me through those days, was having on my director's hat and knowing I was responsible for the crew and the cast, and just being very strategic on how do we shoot this in such a way to limit traumatizing anyone or re-traumatizing anyone. That was very important to me and production. So that's what got me through. But at the end of every day, I did come back to myself, and I did come back to that little girl.
Yeah.
And I would sob. I would bawl my eyes out in the car. And I would cry on the way to set often. Yeah, but as you said, cathartic is really the word. It was super hard to do this, but having it out in the world, having people bear witness to what I went through, to what we went through, and knowing now that this film is out there and these moments will not be forgotten, and hopefully this film is another piece to the movement towards change, right? All of that makes me feel just so happy.
Yeah, and to wrap it up, Kiawentiio, I want to ask you, one of the major themes of this is strength, and strength in women and young girls. What advice do you want to give to young girls out there?
A lot of people ask me for advice, but sometimes I don't really know what to say. I'm only 15 and I haven't lived a lot of life yet. But I think just be truly yourself, no matter who tries to take that from you.
Yes.
And like just try your best to pull yourself through that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I think you're
Beautifully said.
Yeah. Well, you're both fabulous role models. I can't thank you enough for this film. It's brilliant. It deserves all the accolades it's getting. I can't wait to see what you both do next. And just thank you so much for your time today. Best of luck with everything.